Have you run out of build ideas for your survival world? Well, my fellow Minecraft enthusiast, I have over 30 build ideas that I guarantee you never thought to create. From end portal designs and IRL farms to an underwater base and an underwater cave, there's definitely something you'll like in this video. And without wasting any more time, let's get into the first build. The first 4 builds we'll be taking a look at are some IRL farms, which basically just means that they look cool. And the first one that we have here is the hop farm, which is a crop that's used to make beer. So as you can see, we've decorated it by using a nice little beer barrel design over here, and then we also, of course, have our main hop farm thing over here, which I know isn't really possible in vanilla Minecraft without using world edit and stuff, as we have some floating glowberries here, which is why over here I have a secondary way that you could actually create this by using some blocks above them. For the next IRL farm, we have the coffee farm, and this one actually doubles as a actual useful farm, as we have used sweet berries in place of coffee bushes. And this is also a really interesting and nice looking way to set up a sweet berry bush farm as well. For the next IRL farm, we have the tobacco farm, and as you can see, this one pretty much just consists of a whole bunch of dark oak saplings. Now you might be thinking that these are of course just going to grow eventually, and a really cool way to stop any sapling from growing is to just simply place a piece of string above it. If you're far away enough and on the right level, you can't actually see it, so I mean it works pretty well. For the final IRL farm, we actually have a vineyard of grapes, and this is how wine is made. So for the actual design here, we simply just have a bunch of fences and fence gates that are connected together with a sweet berry bush below and then some leaves above. We've also of course decorated it with a whole bunch of pathways and some interesting little wheelbarrow designs as well. Now something cool you could actually do is just make a giant field of all of these like I did for the thumbnail for this video, and you'll definitely have a really nice looking farm area in your survival world. Next up, we're taking a look at 4 custom end portal designs, starting off with the void design. We've got these nice kind of old rickety looking bridges where you could fall off, so be careful. And yeah, just like a cool, like interesting end portal design. Next up, we're taking a look at the lush end portal. And now I know this one would definitely be a lot of work, as end portals obviously spawn inside of a stronghold, but I mean, you could just customize the existing room that the end portal is in, and you can definitely get a really interesting looking nether portal. End portal, sorry. And now for the third end portal is pretty much just what I explained, except it's a little bit simpler. This one's meant to be a ruined nether portal, so we've got the actual existing stronghold room. It's a little bit weird looking, so don't worry about that, but it's as if it has been ruined. So we've added a big chunk taken out of the back corner here and added in a bunch of moss and dirt and grass and stuff. And then also underneath the portal, instead of having lava, we actually have water, like a nice little puddle here, and we've got like these cracks in the stone using some stone stairs. What the hell? Get away from me, buddy. And yeah, we've added the water in so it kind of snakes around and it looks like it's been filling up cracks in the stone. Okay, and now for the final end portal, we have a fully custom one that's meant to look like it's inside of like a room. So we've added a nice case around the end portal out of some wood and some trapdoors as well to make it look like it's been kind of contained, I guess. But yeah, we've also got some storage blocks and some crafting blocks on the sides here as well. And yeah, just a general cool idea for an end portal. If you frequently go to the end portal, this is a nice custom room to set up for one. Next up, we're taking a look at this custom underwater cave design. And this build would definitely be a really cool idea if you found a cave that you like and you wanted to maybe add like a pathway to it and decorate it as well. So in terms of decorating, all we've done is added a whole bunch of texture to the walls with some andesite and some stone bricks as well. And we've also added in some stairs and slabs around the place to make the sides and all of the edges a little bit more interesting. Then for extra detail, we've added in dripstone, hanging roots, glowberries, these things, spore blossoms, I can't remember what they're called. And then we of course also added in this big main pathway that theoretically would continue on as far as you needed to go. I ended it off here because I am lazy, and I mean, you can only see it from here, so yeah. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of nature decorations. The first one here being a backyard design. You don't really need to add this water in. I don't actually know why I added this in. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of separated little gardens around the place. We've got some composters and barrels in the corner, and then also in the center here, we've got like a nice little island with some big bushes as well. Now for the next nature decoration thing, we have a nice little custom pond here. So instead of using dirt around the outside like most ponds would, we've instead opted for stone and andesite, and we've also blended in the corners and stuff by using some stairs and slabs. So instead of it looking really like jagged, if we had just had it like this, we've added in, like I said, stairs and slabs. Now for our third nature decoration, we have a little mini waterfall. And something that I really like about this one is that we have kind of a staged waterfall. So it starts up here and then it flows down to this little section, and then it goes down to here here, and then finally down into our little mini pond as well. And now for our final nature decoration, we have a nice little custom cliff face here. So maybe if you have a base in the area or something like that, like maybe this base over here, I didn't actually even realize this was here, and maybe you want to make your cliffs look a little bit more interesting than something like this, you can of course just go around and make a nice custom cliff design. You don't even have to add this cave section, you could just add a nice overhang here and have it being supported by some stone stairs and slabs. And then if you really wanted, you could add a little bit of an in-cove, and this could even continue on into a cave as well, possibly into even a mine entrance. Think about the possibilities, guys. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of custom mineshaft designs, all with their own individual theme. The first one, of course, being the medieval theme. So for the details for this one, we've got some big pillars. These have been decorated by using some regular oak wood and also stripped oak wood to make it look a little bit more weathered. And then we've added some nice stairs and trapdoors as well to make it look like it's kind of bracing the ceiling as if it is like crumbling, like in this section right here. Then for some extra detailing down below, we've got some barrels, chests, logs, and candles around the place. We've got like a little nice smelting station over here. And then over here for some extra decoration, we've got like a little mini elevator as well. For the next mineshaft design, we've got a little bit more of a simple one. This one is just the lush theme. So obviously not the most practical, but if you're in love with lush nature stuff like I am, then you would love this one. And this leads into a nice little pond as well. You could add a bridge over this if you wanted to, continue off into the distance, or you could turn left or right here. I mean, it's up to you. For the third mineshaft design, we have the actual ruined one. So this one's meant to look kind of like the medieval one, but as if it has been ruined and is pretty old. We've added a bunch of logs around the place to make it look like the existing structures have just kind of fallen and turned into logs. We've got a little bit of a pond in here as well, and added in a bit of nature blocks to make it look like nature has been taking over as well. And now for the final one, we've got pretty much the complete opposite of everything we've shown. This one's more of like an established kind of modern themed. We've got a couple of fluorescent lights in the ceiling as well. I really love using this design. We've got some levers that are pointing in towards each other with a couple of end rods. We've got tracks that kind of connect into each other here, and we can swap between them by using the lever. And then over here, we've got like a bit of a sewer system that this has to travel over. We've used some slabs to go over the water, and then this all leads up to a big iron door as well. We've got some copper blocks on the sides here to look like pipes. We've also got lightning rods up here to look like a pipe that's kind of continuing on throughout the entire length of the tunnel as well. Next, we're taking a look at a couple of biome-specific pathways. The first one here, of course, being the forest biome. So these are all just little chunks taken out of a theoretical, like, longer pathway, I guess. And these are the decorations that you could add beside them to make it look a little bit more interesting. Next up, onto the jungle path. We've also added in some cracks in the path using some stairs. And then we've decorated the outsides of the pathway using some moss carpet once again, some coarse dirt, grass, azaleas, and also some little stones. And we've also added a little bit of a river beside this one as well, just to add a little bit more of an interesting look to it, I guess. Next up for the snow one, we've instead changed the pathway once again, this time to gravel and cobblestone. We've also added some little light designs using some lanterns on top of some walls here, and I'm pretty sure this is melting the snow as we speak. This is meant to not melt it, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks fine having it melted around it. It makes it kind of look like it's keeping the pathway nice and warm for your feet. I don't know. And now for the final biome path, we have the spruce one. So for this one, we've added a little bit of a campsite here. We've surrounded it by using some barrels, chests, and then we've got our actual campsite, of course. Then over on the opposite side, we've got a little bit of a sweet berry farm going. Well, not really a farm, it's meant to be like a natural look, I guess. And then over on the other side over here, we've got a little bit more decoration using a nice wheelbarrow design and a couple more barrels. Now, you guys really liked the previous underwater base that I showcased in one of the videos, I can't remember. And I've actually made another one. This one's older than the first one, but this one's also in a Subnautica style as well. So we've got one build on the right here. This one's like the theoretical entrance, and this would take you up to over here. As you can see, it's filled with water because I am lazy. And then the back one here is meant to be like the main base design. We've got a nice indoor farm at the top here. But yeah, just a really cool base design overall. Next, we have a tiny little village on an island. So starting off down here, we've got our dock. So our dock leads up to the main platform here. We've got a nice little bench. We've got a garden as well, and our staircase that leads up to the two buildings. So this would actually work really well if you're playing with a friend. And yeah, just a really cool aesthetic base design. Next up, we have the space greenhouse. This was just a random build idea that I came up with one time, especially with the complementary shaders nighttime. It looks really nice. If you want your night to look like this, be sure to check out the video at the top right here. But yeah, back to the build. We've got like a tunnel kind of shaped farm design. And then on the walls, we've got our crop farms. We've got some tables as well with some pot plants. And yeah, and then in the middle here, we've got a table with a whole bunch of different flowers. And then back here, we've got kind of some grass instead with some more large bushes as well. Next up, we're taking a look at the medieval lighthouse build. And this is definitely a really cool build to add to a beach. So maybe say you live really close to the beach or like in the forest over here and you want to just have a nice little decorative thing to look at over at the ocean, you can just add this into your world. And yeah, an extra detail, of course, to add to your lighthouse is to add some stones around the place and to make it on its own sand island as well. Next up, we're taking a look at two bridge designs that are very similar. One is stone and one is wood. We'll get to the wood one in a couple of seconds. But for the stone one here, we have kind of like a dam wall design. As you can see, on the water on the backside here is really high, and then the water is kind of trickling out through these iron bars down into the lower side over here. Now for the wood bridge, I'm sorry, as it's kind of just floating over here. I just had to move it out of the way for this one. So yeah, just imagine this is kind of in the same place as that one. But yeah, so it's like the same kind of height, same length as well, and instead of like a dam wall, we've actually just got a normal bridge. So we've got a nice archway here that you can actually sail through theoretically to like, along the river. On the left and right side, we've got a little bit of a pass through so that you can get to the other side of the bridge without having to go up and around or without having to swim through the water. And yeah, overall, just a really nice wooden bridge design. All right, now for the final four builds, we have a couple of compact room designs. The first one here, of course, being the indoor farm room. So obviously this is meant to be like kind of a showcase, like a chunk taken out of a base, but this is a nice little use of space. So on the right side here, we've got, of course, a little bit of a crop farm. We've got the same thing on the left side, but on the right side here, we've got a bit of storage. This would honestly look better using some barrels all the way across. I don't really know why I added chests there, but that looks a whole lot better. And then all the way in the middle of the room here, we have a bit of a square farm setup thing as well. On to the next compact room design. This one is the storage one. So on the left side, of course, we have our mass storage area where we've got a whole bunch of double chests. And then on the right side, we have a little bit more of an aesthetic storage section. We've got some barrels along the top and a couple of double chests down below. And then in the middle area here, we've got a bit of a table made up of some barrels and then some spruce slabs as well. And we've got a couple of decorations on top of that too. For the third compact room, we have the crafting area. And this one consists of a nice brewing area as well as, of course, crafting blocks. And now for the final room and the final build of the entire video, we have the smelting area, or like the kitchen. It kind of looks like a kitchen with this floor pattern, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so on the left side here, we have the more aesthetic side if you just want to get some smelting done. And then on the right side, we have the more efficient setup over here where we have some chests with some hoppers that connect up into our furnaces. So you leave these furnaces full of coal or whatever fuel you want to use, and then whenever you want to smelt something, you just chuck it up in this chest up here. It'll feed through into the furnace and then down into the output chest down below. If you're inspired by any builds in this video, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to be notified of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.